Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here, and welcome back to Sniper Elite Resistance. This is Mission 7, starting off not far from the beginning. We've made our way down the path towards this bridge. As with tradition, we'll start off by grabbing 2 stone eagles. Go ahead and cross this small bridge, looking towards the south, and here you'll find the main building of the mission, and you should be able to see it over the hilltops. Near the very middle of the main building in this mission, you'll be able to find a stone eagle. Additionally, while you're here, you should be able to see a windmill off towards what I believe is the east. And if you find that windmill, which we will be visiting later, so if you don't find the windmill from here, don't worry, we'll get there. But on the windmill from this location, you should be able to find another stone eagle. So make sure you grab that as well. And then after you grab that stone eagle, the path to the north ends up at a small building, a 1-floor building with 2 rooms. Directly in front of you as you enter is a table with a personal letter. From that personal letter, I will show you where on the map I end up, so don't worry. But from that personal letter, which you should have already grabbed, you can then head up the staircase and take a zip line. This zip line will be a pretty good shortcut towards a small little kind of water mill electricity center. And once you reach the end of that zip line, you should be able to find a hidden item. If you are wondering where on the map I am, this is our exact location. And not far from there, you can find the rifle workbench. And you'll want to just climb up the vines not far from that poster to enter in through a window, which leads to the rifle workbench. We've then followed kind of clockwise around the map, and we've ended up at that windmill I mentioned earlier. If you didn't grab the stone eagle on top of the windmill, you'll be able to grab it here. But when you're here, there's a bunch of enemies, and we can grab a starting location. At the base of the windmill, you can find the fire pit. You'll also find, I believe, bolt cutters right next to it for later. Next up, I'll show you the kill list, but it is unfortunately glitched at launch. Hopefully an update comes and fixes it for us. I'm going to start on the main road here, and I'm going to climb over the fence using the vines. This is a great little shortcut that leads into a farm barn side building. And the reason we're going here is because to grab this target, you need to poison them. And the poison is located inside of this barn. So make sure you go ahead and grab it. And don't forget, you can always make a manual save point. If you think you're going to make a mistake, you can make that save and then return to it. And just in front of you in the other building, you should find your target, which is an officer. And that officer likes to drink, I believe, wine, as you are in wine country. So you're going to wait for a opportunity, and with the poison, you're going to go and fill that wine cup, and that's how you can take out the target. Now, unfortunately, interacting with this cup does not work during this version, but hopefully they fix it in a future patch. Once you do poison that cup, you can head back outside, wait for the target to go ahead and drink the cup, and when they do, they will be taken out with the challenge complete. In the same building as our target, we can head upstairs to find personal letter number 5. It's a very small room up there, so you can't really miss it once you're up there. We're continuing our journey kind of clockwise on the map, following the road from the target area. You'll see a small shed on the right-hand side, maybe a barn, I guess. And in that barn, you can find personal letter number 2. Before you continue following that road. Follow that road and you'll end up at a small little outpost, and you can actually get into that outpost through a small door here. So let's go ahead and go underneath it. And this small room does contain a classified document for us to grab. From here, you can also then begin to head kind of southwest, and this will link you to another road that leads to some bonus objectives for you. But you'll want to go through the arched doorway, and that will lead you to a small shed, which will have a hidden item inside. Not far from where we just were, we can end up inside of this kind of bunker that's placed into the geometry of the level. And here you should be able to find an officer. That officer does have a safe key for us, so you can either grab it or use a satchel charge like I've mentioned before. As you enter downstairs, go to the left side in the first room and grab the safe, inside finding a document, which is going to be useful as always. As soon as you grab that document, let's go ahead and head back outside the direction we came from. Next to that doorway, you can find a ladder. Go ahead and climb up that ladder to end up on the upstairs area. And in this upstairs area, it's not too big, but if you do a little bit of exploring, you'll find the pistol workbench located in the back room. From the pistol workbench, you can find personal letter number 4. I will show you on the map where I end up about halfway through this journey, but if you head directly to the west of that location, you'll end up at another small base where there is an optional objective to tinker with some equipment. On the far side of the courtyard in front of that building, in this small little shed that I'm marking on the map, you'll find personal letter number 4. Now we're going to temporarily ignore the giant building in the middle of the map as it leads to the end of the mission. Instead, end up to the top right of the large building if you're looking at your map. And here there will be a bunch of enemies and there will be this small building. If you enter into that small building, you should be able to find a staircase that leads to the upstairs, finding personal letter number 3 inside. Continuing clockwise around the map on this area here, follow this dirt road and you'll find a small little town, or maybe an outpost, with 2 small buildings. And we'll grab the kind of barn looking building first, go into the bottom floor and up the ladder to find the SMG Workbench upstairs. From this location, between the 2 buildings along the fence line on the outer edge of the map, you can find a door, break open the bolts in order to find a starting location known as the Western Farmhouse. Last but not least, while in this small little section, we can enter the bigger of the 2 buildings and we can find hidden item number 1 on the main floor. With those out of the way, we're ready to enter the main building of the mission and start completing our main objectives. In the courtyard in front of the building with this fountain, facing the building, enter the door on the left-hand side and run down the hallway directly in front of you, going into the first door on the right-hand side. Here you'll find classified document number 1. Then what we can do is head back in the direction that we came from, and instead of exiting out the arched doorway, go down the staircase in between the 2 doorways. This will allow you to go underground. You then want to do a 180-degree turn towards the door that's labeled 03. To the right of that door, you'll find a small room with classified document number 2. You'll then need to interact with the control room to actually open up the door labeled 03. This will allow you to go even deeper into the underground facility. Take the first staircase on your right-hand side to find an enemy and our 18th out of 19 collectibles. This should be our final document of the mission. Last but not least, you'll end up taking the underground path under the water and ending up on the island on the backside of the map. And as you exit into the outdoors here, there should be some kind of tanks in front of you. But if you look just to the left of those, past the train tracks, there's only one major building there. And on that building, you'll find your final stone eagle before you complete the mission. You know the drill. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Drop a like. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. Peace.